just like that, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bear, and this is Cub
And Chub.
Hello, everybody.
Hey!
How you doing, Tim?
I'm peachy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not happy with my hair today, but this was a decision I made before we started. It's got like Hitler Youth hairdo to it when it's not styled.
I wouldn't have said that.
I know you wouldn't have, and I appreciate that, but I know what I'm dealing with, and
I would have just been like, I don't know, teenage angsty, like.
Yeah. When it's styled, my guy did me right. Rich, shout out to Rich at Hell's Bottom. Hell's Bottom.
I mean,
talk about that later.
Aren't we all going? So,
and we're apparently getting haircuts on the way. But
yeah, I mean, somebody's got to be down there giving us.
Tim, we're doing something different this week. You want to tell everybody what we're doing?
Yeah, we are recapping, and just like that, season 2.
Season 2, even. That's right. Yeah. Tim and I wanted to do something fun and different, and we've had a lot of fun watching season 2 this year, and so we are going to bring you guys 2 parts.
Yes.
This episode, we're going to recap episodes 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then next week, you'll hear us recap episodes 7 through 11. Because the series just wrapped up. Tim is fresh. Tim just watched.
I'm fresh finale. Like tilapia right out of the sea. And let's just listen. It's annoying and beautiful. It's beautiful. The seasoned. It
did season very hard.
Yeah.
So
it was more episodes than the last season, which I mean, I guess is a regular thing. I just wasn't expecting 12 episodes. I think I was expecting like 10.
Was it? I think it was 11.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was 10 like normal, and then they got like an extra one because the last one was like 2 episodes, but it was like a big finale, part 1 and part 2.
Maybe that's why I thought it was like 12.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, I got
it. Was good. I mean, it was good, and every moment was worth it. Sans Naya, but like, yeah,
justice for Naya.
Justice for Naya's pussy. Like, what is going on?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay,
Tim. Before we jump into our recap, I wanted to ask you, like, what is your... Tell us a little bit about your connection with Sex and the City and just like that universe overall, like your love for it when you got into it, like just what do you love about it?
So when I was younger, I heard about Sex and the City like at school and stuff like that because we had whores that were out there looking at stuff they shouldn't have been looking at that time. But I never really got to it because I was too busy going to church and trying to be not gay. So
right.
It didn't speak for my teenage years. But then when I got into college, I feel like I saw a few episodes and I was like, oh, this is cute. This girl is out here, trying to find love and kind of being a mess, a hot mess, but like in a very endearing and loving way. And you don't see, well, at the time, you weren't seeing a lot of like women admitting that they didn't have it all together.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, the dudes were cute. A lot of our A-list male celebrities now were extras on there. So,
yep.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it's always going to be justice for Carrie and the fact that she got broken up with by a note card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Burger.
And that should have been your first. Like, your name is Burger. Let it go.
You let it go.
Let it go. Even that was a mess.
Yeah.
Like, well, what about you? How did you find Sex and the City?
So I was a kid. We had HBO in the house, so I was definitely that like child who was watching things they should not have been watching. Yeah. And my parents didn't really care about the show, but I remember I would catch it when it would be on because it was part of that prestige era of HBO. Like it came on a couple years before Sopranos.
Mhm.
And then it kind of got jumbled into this like, HBO does TV really well. And I started watching it then, and I loved it for a few reasons. It was salacious to me as a child. So these
Mhm.
women just out there doing what they want to do and then chatting over brunch about it.
Mhm.
I loved that it, in a weird way, it gave me a characterization of New York I had never had before either.
Yeah.
Prior to that, New York to me was whatever Wu-Tang Clan told me it was. Do you know what I mean? Like my
You just
association
thought it
with
was like the brownstones and like
yeah, like New York to me was like what hip hop told me it was.
yeah.
Which, do you know what I mean? So it was the boroughs and all this stuff, but
It's definitely two different like
it's literally a different
experiences.
world,
Yeah.
right? So it brings
From where I
Manhattan
came
into
from. Yeah.
yeah, because when you don't live in New York, it's like it's all one place. But when
Yeah.
you are paying attention, it's like, oh, this place and that place and this whole other world. So like getting to know like New York space, and also although it wasn't queer centric, there were queer characters and queer storylines at times
Yeah.
that
Because they had friends that were queer people. They had nemesis that sometimes were
were queer or bi or
fans
whatever.
or yeah, of some
Yeah,
sort. Yeah.
yeah, so it introduced like that world as well on television that again in the late 90s you didn't see very regularly unless you were really like tapped into certain things. So and then there's that part of it, but then there was also the E channel like revitalization of it.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
and I think that's where I really like started falling in love with it. Was like when I could see it every single day.
yeah, the E was one of those first channels that took a show and just played it nonstop because and it was
Them
its
and
personality.
TNT.
Yeah,
TNT
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
like that's where I got my charmed. So it was a whole thing. It was like I got the first two hours, maybe 8 and 9 were charmed. And
Uh-huh.
then I watched 10 was supernatural. Then I went over to what is it? The N no E network
E, yep.
and I watched Sex in the City until like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, for 11, yeah, 11 to 4.
Yeah.
And it was the edited version, but I just remember thinking like regardless of like the actual like nudity or whatever, or the cursing, like it still worked. Even in the
Yeah,
edited, it was like just addictive.
it
So
was.
yeah. And the money and the access that you just don't
You're never like it's listen, it is
yeah.
real for someone. It's
Yeah.
not real for me.
No,
And
no.
that yeah. I'm
It's
glad
as
I got that early
it's as
because I
high
would be
fan
like, what the hell?
it's as
I
high fantasy as Buffy and Angel to me. It's like this isn't real and that is not real, but I love
was
the
like, how many apartments are you getting? Like, what is this? Like, like you're a writer and you're supposedly struggling, but you got this beautiful apartment. What
yeah.
what is this? Like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden one of your boyfriends who you kind of don't like but kind of do, and you're cheating on them. They buy you the apartment and the other one beside of it. Like,
Yeah.
what
It's
is
a lot.
going?
It's a
It's a lot.
lot. Um,
It's the
I
power
really,
of the PUSSY. It's true.
yes, and I do love that they lean into like Carrie is just rich and just
Yeah.
like that. It's just like Big's dead. She got a big inheritance. She can do whatever she
Well,
wants.
listen, it was very apparent that Big had big money.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Wealth.
yeah, it was like stacked wealth.
Yeah, yeah.
When he said we're going to church and I saw that mother, I was like, oh, this is old money.
Old money.
I was like, okay. He's like, and I would have broken up with anybody else too.
It's yeah. Miss you. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm about to have a great life.
Right.
Regardless of how many times he cheated on me. I don't care.
You're gonna make it work.
I'm out here ladying who lunch.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and recap the first 6 episodes for you guys, just so you know what we're talking about today.
Yes, we
Um,
are.
and we're going to give this a shot. Again, this is me and Tim's first recap episode. So we're
Yes.
feeling it out. I'm excited.
Yeah, bears like to watch.
Also, yes. All right, Tim, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with episode 1, which has everybody looking great, looking stunning, and fucking. Like, that's what they're doing. They're out there. Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer was the song. It was some, like, good 90s that were shown. Mm-hmm. And then we had Naya, who was eating Chinese food. Carrie had a situationship with her podcast producer. Miranda is in LA with Che, supporting them. Charlotte is getting ready for the Met Gala. And Seema is banging her club promoter.
Yes, Zed.
Yeah. Which I endorse. Lisa Todd Wexley, LTW, if you will, is just being the Renaissance woman that she is, with her husband, her beautiful husband, her kids, her work, her friends, and just doing it while having the best bob wig ever. It's just so good. And I'm like, when do you have time to listen? When do you have time to watch it? But okay.
Yep.
So that's episode 1. Get into episode 2 for me.
Okay, I got you. Episode 2, Carrie doesn't want to do an ad about her vagina. Who would? I get it. Her and Franklin call it quits. You know, Franklin's in and out, her producer. Charlotte is worried about Lily growing up because Lily's having her emo moment and she's selling her clothes.
Didn't we all?
Miranda loses her phone and finds Shay's husband. That was a whole thing. Totally forgot about that.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Herbert, which is LTW's husband. Herbert deals with discrimination from a cabbie and his mama's opinion of that situation.
Jesus, Jack and GLS. Anyway.
Shay is dealing with Tony Danza as her dad. That was a whole situation that actually happened.
What in the balls? Like...
Zed is out with Seema after making an investment offer. Seema is not trying to hand out money to nobody.
No, I'm trying to hand out, you know, the goods, not the money. I'm not trying to fund your dream. I'm trying to fuck your dream. Like,
not doing that. Nope. And Naya cancels her husband after another plea to have a baby. It's officially over.
Listen, it's over. It's been over. You should have said it's over when you went out and did your little tour. And I'm done.
Tim, what happened in episode 3?
Well, episode 3, we have Carrie recording and reliving her audiobook about her dead husband. In case we forgot, her husband's dead. Seema's Birkin got snatched. Which is the real relationship, right?
That's right.
The children are making lists about Gen Z or Gen X and how sexy they may or may not be.
One of my favorite comedy bits of the entire season. Absolutely.
Listen, I'm just saying. And Miranda ruins Che's moment and heads back to New York to help Brady because he got in a breakup.
Yep.
As most kids have. And finally, Carrie and Seema seem to become besties.
Yeah, they're really bonding.
Even though it's very odd that, you know, it comes out of the lies to her actual best friends. But it is what it is. You know? It brings out the lies in people. What about the 4th?
All right, in episode 4, Carrie's gonna write for old people, Murphy Brown.
Yes.
She's also getting old.
I'm just saying, it is Murphy Brown.
That's right. Carrie's also getting old dick pics, and her ageism is showing. That's something Tim can relate to.
Wow.
Sorry. You know what? This isn't a versus. My bad. I'm sorry.
You know what? This isn't rivalry. This is recap.
That's a recap. It's a child-free summer for Charlotte and LTW.
Yes, very rich.
Very rich, child-free time. Charlotte deals with Harry's old balls. He cannot have an orgasm all of a sudden, so she's helping with that. Miranda Hobbs back in the Burrows, family therapy, and almost gets in a three-way with Shay and her husband that she's still technically married to.
Which I don't understand how that happened, but okay.
Yeah, right. Herbert and LTW have a crappy 20th anniversary party with mommy in tow, and now Herb is running for council? Question mark?
Mm-hmm. What happens when you don't be inviting people right?
That's right. That's right. You can't send out invitations. You know what you should do? Run for city council.
I mean,
it makes sense to me. And we find out at the end of this episode that Carrie's been dick picking with Enid's tripod. So the guy that Carrie's been kind of like not sexting because she doesn't want to date him has actually been chatting with Enid. He's apparently a hoe around town. And so through guilt, Carrie donates to Enid's magazine.
Yeah, and she also, in return gets a little bit of like promo for her book.
There you go.
So,
Tim, episode 5.
Episode 5, it's Halloween, girl. And Harry, Charlotte's husband, has hair.
That's right.
Which is very odd and very shagadelic.
That is, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, and then Seema, Anaya, and Carrie somehow become Beyonce's single ladies.
Right.
And go out on the town. And Seema finds somebody with ED. Which, take your pick, which is fun. Carrie is hit by a biker. This biker turns out to be a tech nerd and quote unquote married to his business partner. Not in real life, but as we know, somebody in the friendship always is more attached than the other one is.
Yeah, very demanding. Very demanding.
It's true. Miranda is burning the candle at both ends. By both ends, I mean Steve, her husband, and Shay, her lover. And so she then becomes Naya's roommate. So, yeah.
Very interesting development in the middle of the season.
It's true. You got to bring Naya in somehow. So Rock, which is Charlotte's child, they start modeling for Ralph Lauren, which is very odd because it's kind of like a legacy modeling agency.
Yeah.
Because as we know, Charlotte, the prim and proper, always has Ralph Lauren model situation. So, What about the next episode, Beer?
All right, the last episode we'll be covering in this episode of the podcast, Bomb Cyclone, which I know was
the best episode.
Okay, so you have a best episode. I think it's probably the most polarizing episode in the fandom because of what happens. We'll get into it. But Carrie and Shay are going to a widow conference because that's what's happening in this episode.
Dead husband.
Dead husband. Lily needs mommy to bring condoms. Stat.
Listen, parenting
101, very close. I love it.
The new age.
Miranda and Steve and Shay all officially break up. So
in one night.
And I'll tell you right now, we're going to get into it, but Steve, who I generally love, is absolutely evil. Absolutely evil.
We're differing. Okay.
I'm so excited. Also, one of my favorite LTW moments, the wig in the bathroom scene.
No. Okay, go. We're not doing that right now. We're not doing.
Seema decides to book a summer house for her and Carrie, the single ladies.
Or we're done. Okay.
Naya needs more screen time because where the fuck was Naya in the middle of the season? This is ridiculous.
Where has Naya's story plot been the whole time? Anyway,
we'll get into it.
Yes.
And at the very end of this episode, we see that Carrie emails Aiden, her long-lost love from the original series.
Yeah.
And we'll dig into that. But at the very end, so that's what we're covering today, from the opening to Carrie sending the email to Aiden. So
yes,
there is your And Just Like That Season 2 Part 1 recap.
Yes. So first of all, how do we feel about these episodes together?
So I'll tell you, I was, I wanted to ask you about this too, because I think a lot of people had specific feelings about season 1 of
Yeah.
this series. And by opening up season 2 with everybody's having sex, except for Naya, but seemingly everybody's in a good place and loving and just, Carrie's grief banging, which is
Yes.
like an important part of her story arc.
Well, I think it's a situationship, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she's banging the grief away. And it's like,
yeah,
do this.
listen, do it.
I think they were signaling they wanted to have fun, right? Because
Because it was sex and the city. It's just not like we're not married anymore.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. When you set the tone for season 1 to the opening being Big's death, of course that's going to be
yeah.
the big drive of that season. And I really liked season 1, but it was different. We had these new characters we were trying to get to know. The girls are getting accustomed to 2023 and not 1997. Like,
Yeah, so the first episode for me the first season for me felt like, oh, we're old white women and we don't know anything about like this 2023 thing. It's like we were frozen in time. But like this season feels very much like we're living and thriving in 2023.
yeah.
And we understand what's happening,
Yep.
as somebody who is progressive would be. And we would hope that these characters would be a progressive type of person.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, opening up with the sex and putting the fun back in it, I thought was great.
Yeah.
I like
Not to
that.
mention that Tiny Dancer, like song, like that cut.
Oh yeah.
It was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, no, and these women. I mean, age ain't nothing but a number, right? These women are gorgeous.
Miranda's titties are great.
They're bouncing.
They've always been great ever since, but like everybody on this cast has a nice body.
Yeah,
Not
they
that-
really
and
do.
it doesn't matter even if you don't. It is what it is. But like, it's just very like cool to see people who have already been on screen as like these sexual beings still enjoying their sexuality even as they progress in age.
So, what did you think about Carrie and the producer relationship? Were you like,
I thought it was
yay?
bomb.
Yeah,
I was like, I actually thought yay, because who else are you going to fuck around with? Like,
yeah,
I didn't think a lot of people may have thought that this was like a relationship or something like that. I saw it as a situationship.
yeah.
And I've been in numerous ones. So like I get like, this is great on Thursday.
This is fun for what it is.
Yeah, like we have Thursdays and we watch, like it's even a little bit comforting. Like you watch TV together on Thursday, but then the rest of the week, no, it's not. We're not together.
No,
And
you bump and watch cooking shows and then you go home.
But the problem with that is when women are like, I know what it is, then men are like, oh my God, somebody who gets it. And then you fall for them.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Carrie is aloof and technically unavailable, and Franklin likes it.
Franklin was like, I gotta have me some more of that.
And kudos to the casting department who casted this extra Franklin last season. He was in multiple episodes without having any storyline, but he's
he's a cutie.
He's one of the cutest extras on the show. It's like, this is a really cutie patootie to just be having a. Oh, okay. I see what you were doing.
It was very abrupt in the elevator. It was like,
she really dug in. Yeah.
Girl. What have you really done?
Do you fantasize about what the Sex and the City podcast could have been before they abruptly got canceled?
Did it get canceled? Oh,
yeah.
I would listen. I don't want to hear her talk about that. Like, I don't think of Carrie as like a advice columnist person anymore. Like, I just think of her as a rich white woman.
No. And if you're not ready to talk about the dryness of your vagina and get this ad money, you got to move on.
Well, okay, where did this come from? Like, this like coyness about.
I don't think it's past her. I think that she is when like even Sarah Jessica Parker, like she's not the one that usually does the nude scenes. She's not the
Yeah.
one that gets overly sexual. I think like Carrie, although she'll talk to the girls about their sex lives, you never hear Carrie get like into it.
Yeah,
So
I guess
I could
so.
see her being like, I don't want to talk about like I can talk about getting older, but I don't want to talk about my vagina. I didn't think
But
it
you'll
was
talk
that
about your dead ass husband. Like,
right. Yeah, I
like
think there's a prudeness there
yeah.
that we see in Charlotte, that we see all the girls in each other, right? And I
Yeah.
think that there's a part there that Carrie is that seems weird because she is a literal open book.
And
But
also, I just see like these women, like they're older now, and I don't see like them caring about like that portion. Like the
I could go either
characters as
way.
older women. Like
Yeah,
Charlotte is wild, honey. Like
yeah,
she's like, bitch, my daughter needs some fucking condoms, so she about to have sex. And I'm
yeah,
gonna talk to her about it because my mama didn't talk to me about it.
yeah.
And
Charlotte, you know what Charlotte's getting really good at is getting over it. Like
yeah,
Charlotte's initial reaction is still to be like, "Oh no, like that's not
yeah.
right, Carrie." And then 5 seconds later, never mind, let's get you fucked.
Or something funny. Like you're like, let me be Miranda for a second.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's right.
but then all of a sudden she's like in the middle of sex, she's like, you wanna come on my tits? Like it's like I was just
Charlotte.
like,
Yeah.
damn, like
Yeah.
I
I'm a,
just don't have that conversation.
yeah.
It just happened.
It's amazing. I think Charlotte gets a lot of crap this season because of the frilliness of her storylines. They're not
Yeah.
overly serious. They're kind of like they tend to be kind of jokey or whatever.
But
But
that type of woman has that type of life.
she's not chasing the man anymore. She's got a
No.
family. She's got a different story. And
Exactly.
her and Harry like secretly like win the belt for like adorable cute snit like getting through like they are a couple. They're
Yeah.
like they can fight. They're not going to get divorced. They're together forever. Like
Yeah.
it's nice to see that stability when everybody else is like in their 50s and still batshit
Yeah.
crazy.
When she said, give me your hand and kegel on them hands,
That's
I was
right.
like, wow.
Yeah.
This woman is no longer this
No.
cringe person. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Remember when she was out there talking about I don't want to be with a man that like is known for giving good head? Like
Yeah, she's done a 180. Yeah, completely. Completely.
she's like, I'm married, so come on my tits.
I did. Oh no, Harry. Yeah, it's wonderful.
And she loves the cum. Anyway,
She does. It's like the 4th of July.
the very cum slut of us all. Who knew?
What were your thoughts about the ball of it all for episode 1?
The Met Gala?
The Met whatever. It's supposed to be the Met Gala, but they called it like the Met what I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
It
stand-in.
was insane.
Yeah.
LTW.
Ooh.
That
Oh.
Valentino
Oh.
across that road,
Yeah.
blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
My breath was taken.
It's gorgeous.
I was just like, Nicole Ari Parker, if you don't get out of my screen, I'm gonna die. I died. I absolutely died. And then when Smoke, who is gorgeous, beautiful,
Oh yeah.
when she couldn't get the dress done for Carrie, and she was like, I might have another dress, and it was the wedding dress. I was like, wow. And not only that, finally made sense of that thing in her head.
Bird, yeah.
I was just like, because even at the wedding, I was like, why did you wear that stupid blue? Like nothing on you was blue.
Yeah.
I guess the wedding shoes were blue, but you couldn't see the wedding shoes. So I was like, okay, now it all makes sense. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I thought that I thought Charlotte's get up was all right.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
cute. Okay. Uh, But okay, so this is the reason why, like, I'm like a little confusion,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it was just so much work put into it,
Yeah.
like for
Yeah.
it just to be that.
What it
I was like,
was.
well, you could have went to the Party City and got that girl.
Yeah.
Like,
No, no,
it
compared to
wasn't.
the others, no, it was night and day.
Yeah, and but I like that they put her in something a little more masculine.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
agreed. I think real quick on Carrie's reference to the wedding dress. I think it's really tricky when writers try to reference old things, right? Like
yeah,
how much in this storyline when you're going to reference something like that, how much of it is nostalgic and
mhm.
just crowd pleasing like, "Oh, her wedding dress, remember that thing we did?"
Yeah,
compared to serving the story and the idea that she still had the dress
yeah.
through multiple moves. We save for the Aiden stuff at the back end. We don't really address Big anymore. He's like really is dead,
Yeah.
and that part of her life is over. So the fact that they
Which I
were,
thought they were at least gonna give like one montage or something. Which it's fine that they didn't,
yeah,
but
yeah, I
you
think he
know,
wrote himself out. But
I
yeah,
don't know nothing about Christopher North, but
and we never will now. But
um,
but I thought
his
they
hair
did
was awful.
doing callbacks with those kind of things can be tricky, and I thought the dress was perfect. It was
Yes,
like it was a great way to incorporate into what's happening now. She has a positive memory with it now. Like I thought it was done really well. So
yes.
oh let's see. Seema. See the club owner Zed, it was fine.
Okay,
It's fine.
so it's tricky with me. Like how much of just asking, do you want to invest in this, is a red flag? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, I have this investment deal, do you want to go in on it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he was wrong for asking, but I also believe, like, look, if you think it's a red flag, it's a red flag, don't be a part of it.
Yeah. Wasn't it also him that was still living with his
Yeah,
Yeah, so there was already a red flag she was trying to work through, and then she did that, and then it
yeah,
was, and can you give me some money? And it's like, never mind, I
yeah.
get it. That's
I
okay.
mean, no, I get it completely. um and I will say, like, if you are done, be done. Don't it doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah,
Like, if you are, if you have something in your gut that says this ain't for me, get out,
get out,
because
roll.
don't wait until it's proven. Like,
So here's the big question, Tim. Do you want to talk about the Naya problem now, or do you want to talk about the Naya problem at the end?
let's talk about the Nia problem 1 through 6 now.
Okay, okay. So at the beginning of the season, Naya is obviously sad because she's
Yeah.
separated from the hubby.
Yes.
She also gets a call with the hubby where he tries to where she's feeling a little lonely and they're open to the conversation and he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, hey, would you like to have a baby? By the way, I'm talking to this girl on the side you can see on my Instagram." And it's like,
Well, okay, so it was this. It was, I'm feeling a little sexy. Let
yeah.
me engage with my husband.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Girl, I got this white lady in my room right
Mm,
now. What are you doing? Why are you calling me?"
yeah.
Like, it was very much like, "Whoa, put some clothes on, girl." Which is
Yeah.
what you don't do to your estranged wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't show that you got some young chick in there, and you don't tell her to put her damn clothes back on.
Yeah. It was
But
I think Naya well, again, we're just talking about 1 through 6. Sorry, I'll back up.
yes.
So this conversation happens where he also asks again if they can do surrogacy.
Hmm.
And Naya realizes that he's not going to get over this.
No, this is he wants this.
He wants a
Like,
baby, which he's allowed to
you're
want.
entitled to that.
Yeah, you can want that. And Naya's the one that pulls the trigger because that's
Yeah.
not something she wants, and they need to move on.
Hmm.
And that storyline is a storyline that you can play with,
Yeah, I
but
know.
but it for episodes 1 through 6, it really went nowhere. Like she gets
Absolutely
sidelined
nowhere.
so hard.
She went from married to not married to here I am typing up the divorce papers
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying like sitting at a bar and seeing a man, but
Yeah.
like not doing anything with the man. And like it was very much like poor black woman. Like
Yeah.
she's like just out here in this world lost without a man.
Yeah.
And that did I mean honestly, it's it I mean we don't want to talk about the end, but it didn't change that much. But
No, no, and
like
her montages when they do show her, because she doesn't have a lot going on, she's on the couch, she's at her stove
yeah.
looking for one, like there's nothing wrong with that, but there's also this idea that's like if you don't, there's a balancing act, because there's some other storylines where it's like, is this a storyline? Why are we talking about this? Like, then I have to.
But also like she has things to do. She's a tenured professor.
Mm-hmm.
She has, you know, papers to grade, stuff like that. She could be busy doing things.
She could be busy.
They've chosen that storyline for her.
Yeah, she's also like one of the most, besides Seema, like the single woman on the show now.
Yeah.
You know, Carrie's dating in and out or whatever. But it's like Seema, Naya could really have her own like kind of side stories of like dating and getting back out there.
Yeah.
And like
she could be quite the Charlotte.
She really, really could. But they wanted to give her this like sad at home story, which is fine and happens and is realistic. But I'm not watching and just like that for realistic.
All I'm saying is they are very lucky that they got the Lisa Todd Wexley storyline, because I would be a black Twitter person on there talking about what the fuck you think black people going through. But like,
and we'll get into what happens there at the back end of the season, which I thought was kind of cute, but
in that, listen, the beach scene was very boring, but it has some of the best lines.
The beach scene,
like the beach scene where she lost the phone.
Oh, Miranda, yeah.
And I mean, I only go to that because like some of the lines were Naya. When she was like, what she say? She said, because model girl plus surrogate equals I'm done. I was like, oh my God. And she said, bonfires of beanies at 11. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Get through get done with her. Get done, Andre. We're done.
We're over it.
And you know, that was such a boring like moment for I was about to call Margaret. Oh my God. Miranda. But at the same time, like it has some really good one-liners. Like when the Asian dude, he was like, the earth is already dead. We're basically cleaning up a corpse. Right. I was just like, damn, ain't that the truth? And she was like, I can't Uber home. And he was like, Uber is a Ponzi scheme. I was like, yes. Come through.
Miranda and Che in LA is a side story that happened. And you know, I think whenever they tried to get the girls outside of the New York, like
I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah.
I love that Miranda had her journey. I love that they were involved.
Yeah.
I didn't need that relationship to happen that long. Like, like I didn't. Yeah. It was very much like Miranda was just out there chilling and like kind of trying to hold on to Che as they were doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Che is like sitting there like, who am I? I'm doing whatever they tell me to do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the arguments that they were having weren't being solved. Like
no,
it was very like covered up. It was like, oh, don't think about it too hard. I'm like, no, I'm gonna think about it.
This is just how I do things. Don't worry about it. It's like
I was like, do you?
Yeah, you guys are different people, and that's okay. And you communicate differently. You're at different parts of your life too. Yeah, Miranda, they're just very different people, and I think I like the idea of Che being the one to bring Miranda out to explore sexuality.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Steve and that dynamic gets blown up because of this thing that
Yeah.
seems so very simple. It's like it was a tryst, it was fun, but it was explosive and over. And now
Yeah.
Miranda's whole family unit is
Just,
destroyed. Like that
yeah.
part of her life is done. And that happens. But I was like, man, they really kind of blew this whole like 30-year storyline up for this
Yeah.
situation that
But you know what? I feel like a lot of late in life queer people have that storyline. It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
one thing below, like they have a whole life that they've created. It's not like queer people aren't just like in the closet waiting to come out. Like we are
Yeah.
living, we are having whole situations and like doing what people are telling us to do,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that it's going to make us feel happy. And then one day you do wake up and realize it's just not going I'm not going to be happy
Yeah.
until I'm honest with myself. And unfortunately that comes with a lot of like destruction of what you built.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good point. And it's again it's a storyline that doesn't really get delved into too much. And again with Miranda's real actress's name.
I was about to say Miranda Crossgrove. That is
Yeah.
not her.
But
Um
but
Cynthia Nixon.
Cynthia Nixon, who is openly bi and
Yes.
has a somewhat similar story about coming out later in life and that kind of stuff. Like, I'm glad it's like they're doing the storyline. They're doing it with somebody who knows the storyline, who has lived this kind of experience.
Mhm.
And I like Shay as a character. There's a whole dedicated fandom out there of people that think that that character is annoying or that they're just there to blow things up. I'm like, I think this is, I think this is great storytelling. I'm very happy
Yeah.
with this. This is fine.
I think they need this story plot.
They needed
Like,
something like that. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Um,
Otherwise, it just becomes like we all have money and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we do things.
I'm gonna ask you a question where the white friend asks the black friend a question. So I'm very sorry,
Wait a
but
minute. Let me get my.
thank you.
Okay.
I love you so much. Um, Herbert's discrimination storyline and his mother showing up and Sex in the City going for something that it doesn't normally
Yeah.
really do, right?
Again,
With
another
any kind
storyline that needs to be
of
told.
depth or I don't know. I thought it was interesting they went for it. And
Yeah.
what and just like that is really good about is going for it and then never discussing it again.
But actually, this is the thing about that is
Okay.
like it happens like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You are living your life. You have your friends, and you're taking care of business, doing everything, and racism happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not one of those things where you're ever prepared for it, or it's almost like it's very jarring for most people because nobody wants to live on edge every single moment of the day,
Yeah.
and you don't have time for that. I mean, we are magical. Well, no, not magical. We are, fantastic, phenomenal people because we have to deal with all of that and still do all the other shit.
Hmm.
But it's one of those things where when it happens in front of your children
Yeah.
and they have the example of that in their head for the rest of their life, it's like
Yeah.
my dad can't even get a taxi.
Yeah. That's what really killed me in that moment when she's like, my friend's dad doesn't have an issue getting a cab where he's at. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh
And
God.
that was the anger. It's just like it's true.
Yep.
Her white dad doesn't have an issue like this. And so it's like I've went to school. I have the beautiful wife. I have the successful career. I am everything my mother told me I should be in order to be successful, and I can't get a cab.
Yeah.
like I can't get the bare necessities of a New Yorker, or sometimes it's I when people who may be like a cashier or something, they give everybody their coins or their change in their hand, but they put yours down.
Right.
Why is that? Like, and it's little things like that. It's like you've had a great day. You went, you're going grocery shopping for your family. You're gonna make them a good dinner, and that little thing happens,
Yeah.
and you're just expected to pick it up and go on about your business. Now, I will say, when it comes to his mother, that's another. It's these sandwich generations,
Mm-hmm.
Gen X and and millennials. We have hit so hard because you have these baby boomers who just really staunchly believe that, like, you can wealth your way out of racism. You can
Right.
they do have those bootstraps. You do have bootstraps, and you need to pull them up and stop crying and stop doing all this stuff, because you start cussing out cops like these white folks do, then you're gonna get your ass beat, and you deserve it, because who do you think you are? You're black, you know this. But, like, we're
Right.
in the middle, understanding you can never you can't out racism. Like,
No.
you can't outwin, you'll never win. You can be the best person, you can be the most agreeable, and it just really depends on the type of person that you get, based on your color of your skin, whether they want to just arrest you, or if they want to beat the shit out of you and kill you.
Yeah.
Like, it's a infuriating moment, because you have your child, who is Gen Alpha,
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh my God, there's a staunch difference, and why can't you get it?" Annoyed. I'm
Yeah.
annoyed that my child has to see racism in action. Then you have baby boomers, your parents, being embarrassed that you
Reacted or had emotions.
reacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you had emotions. And then, so it's just, it's hard. I'm so glad that they did it in a way that was kind of tasteful, with just the cab. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it could have been something so much worse, like a tab at a restaurant or something.
Right.
It could have been so much worse. But, like, I think a lot of people don't realize that specifically Gen Xers and millennials have to deal with these two generations that are opposite. And we're always kind of pushed and pulled. It's like, you need to be more progressive, and you need to do what we tell you, and this is the way to do it. And this, like, don't discuss your feelings. And, like, we only want your feelings. And
Yeah.
it's just like, what do you do? And then when you add race on top of that, it's a global boiling point.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But this is the life we live in, and we are somewhat capable of handling it most of the time. But sometimes you get the angry.
Yeah.
As with anybody gets angry. Like, that's a thing. It's like, it's not just because he was black. If that had happened to, say, the other little girl's father, they would have gotten mad, but it wouldn't have meant anything. It was just like, oh well, he's just trying to get a ride for his baby, so of
Yeah.
course he's going to be mad. But because it's a black man, it's taken as, oh, he's aggressive,
Right.
he's angry, or it's something negative, and
Yeah.
you just can't win for losing sometimes.
Did you? I bet you thought they handled it pretty well
I,
for the type of show it is and what
I
the
thought they
dynamic.
handled it very greatly, because they didn't do it in front of the whole cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a black moment.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
the
Right.
whole discussion, from when they were in the room, it was the black mother and Lisa Todd Wexley and
Mm.
him. Like, it
Yeah.
was not involved with anybody else, because that's when, like, things get girl, what's wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Like,
need Charlotte's
don't do
opinion
this
on
in front
this.
of people. Yeah, like,
Yeah. No, I
so
gotcha.
yeah. So it's very nice. It was. I thought they did it great. Don't be doing too much of it
Yeah.
because
Yeah, it's delicate because it's like, oh wow, they handled that well, but also part of me likes the show because it's an escapism for me.
yeah,
So when
yeah,
they have to get heavy with death or racism and things like that, it's like, oh man. But yeah, I agree. I thought, and it gave life to that character and that family that were
exactly.
looking for that growth and understanding of who they are. So,
Hmm.
um,
And it's kind of like when American Horror Story had that like one where it was a episode where everything was going on that was going on, and then all of a sudden they had a shooting in a church, and that was the only
oh,
scene
right,
because that's what's happening in America.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like your life is going on, and then a shooting or
Right,
two or three a day. But
yeah,
like so when people like talk about how abrupt things seem in like with racism and stuff like it's like it just seemed like it came out of nowhere because it does come out of
yeah,
nowhere. Like that's a real life thing. It generally comes out of nowhere.
yeah.
But yeah.
Can I tell you who I think should win all of the acting awards?
And yes, and then after that I'll tell you who's gonna top me one day.
Gotcha. So I don't know why Sarah Jessica Parker doesn't work more than she does.
Mm.
She does not do a lot of acting and a lot of things.
She don't have
She doesn't have to. She's meticulous. She's been a producer on the show. She's got money. She doesn't have to work. But then I see her in a booth by herself reading her fake character's fake
Oh,
biography.
the way I cried and really did cry. Like
Like I'm sold.
wept.
I am sold. On top of the fact that Sarah Jessica Parker is also one of the funniest
Yeah.
actors on the show, like her comedy and her quippiness.
Those pauses
I, I
killed me.
I was, oh wow, I was really and,
I
um,
feel for Carrie right now.
I,
Just like
I
when she said that he was so small, I
stop it.
I couldn't.
It's so in. It's okay. See, this is what this does to us. I just
It
justice for Sarah
just
Jessica
brought me
Parker.
back, and then they started playing the showers. Like they started.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, oh my god! And then I remember
yeah,
that he was just like sitting there.
yeah.
Ugh,
Again, when the show wants to pull your heartstrings, it can.
it
And
came.
Sarah Jessica Parker is just I uh I don't know, absolutely love her. Just that,
Yeah.
and it's such a, and that storyline happens in that episode and they move away from it. But in that episode, like, and she, can we talk about also how we can't use COVID as like an excuse anymore? Of like when she's like, I can't come to work today, I've got COVID. I'm like, we really don't have that. Like,
I just want to let you know, yes, you can. Don't ask me how I know, but you can. And
oh no, can't do it. Sorry, guys. Um, but yeah, I thought I really liked that. I also liked that in the same episode, the Seema's Birkin bag, which from like an overarching of the season, like whatever, but they don't minimize her investment in that or
yeah,
her passion for spending her money that way.
like yeah, like that was her first like come up,
Yeah. It meant a lot to
and
her.
it was a
Sentimental.
relationship with her, like, and it's kind of like in season one when she said, when you like that apology that she had to give to Carrie for breaking the picture, and she was
Yeah.
like, you were a little rude and just saying my little relationship or whatever.
Right.
So like there is a clear like distinction that in these generations that we're living in, that just because you don't have a romance going on, it doesn't mean your relationships to other things, people, places, other nouns
Mhm.
aren't important. They may
Yeah.
Not saying that like they're just as important, but they have importance.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
Carrie, who's dealing with the on the same episode about doing her audiobook,
Yeah.
Carrie's also not telling Seema to shut up. Like, I'm dealing with real emotion. Like,
Yeah.
they understand each other, which I think, I agree. There's a lot of ways to tie Seema's character back to the missing of Samantha.
Hmm.
There's a lot of that kind of similar energy there I can see in
Yeah,
the
but I think
beginning.
she's her own person too.
She's coming to her own. They have their own dynamic. Carrie appreciates her for different reasons.
She's somebody who wants love though. Like which is very different from
Oh
Samantha.
yeah, no, she's looking for it, and we'll get there too. Oh my god. But yeah, this is also the episode where we get the very funny storyline about the MILF list, which I thought was very
Listen,
Charlotte and
two
LTW.
and three, which actually was one and two because I agree that stepmother didn't need to be on that list. That was
No,
not cool. Like
no,
you didn't push children out,
no.
or you didn't push them children out.
Right, those were
Like,
yours.
those,
The
You
comedy in
have
that, when that principal's like, and you won't believe that this kids made this list, and they both go, really? And he goes, yes. Like,
and then Lisa was like, "We're getting that list."
we're getting that list. I thought like when they duo the women up in pairs in ways, it's so good.
Listen, Charlotte and LTW
Uh-huh.
can take over the world.
Yeah.
Like they could just do those two
Yeah.
and be fine. Especially Lisa. I think they could do a spinoff with Lisa
Yeah.
very easily.
Can I tell you? Oh, we got it. I don't want to. No, that's
Yeah,
part
that's
two.
the
We'll get
next
part two.
one.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was a cute way to like keep those characters like friendships rolling.
I like that they kind of cross friendshipped people too. Like
Yeah.
they brought in Naya some like with Lisa.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, okay. I was like, because I was like, how does she stay abreast when she ain't got nothing going on? She's not really a part of the core group
Mm-hmm.
now that Miranda's off in Cheland. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, how are they going to do that? But she's a professor. Oh, so they wanted to use the professor line for that, but
Yeah.
they didn't want to use it for she got other shit going on she could be doing.
Yeah. She's
Michael, get it together. Black women have things. They do.
That's right. Speaking of Miranda, who we're not speaking a lot about right now because I think her dynamic kind of changes in the middle and the back end of the season, but
She didn't have a lot to do. Like,
no, she gets
she's just
back
out there floating in salt water. Like,
right, and she gets back to New York this episode for Brady.
yes.
But
But I will say that as far as like Steve and her, I get that like it's like the unspoken truth that like I broke us, so I don't have any power in this.
oh yeah, sure.
But you do like you've already broke. I mean, no offense, you've already broken it, so you might as well just go ahead and push it out.
You've already
Like,
spoken up, so
yeah,
just
the water's already broke. You might as well push the baby out. Like
Yeah.
it is like
Yeah.
be done or don't. And I get Brady was like that too. He was like, okay, I'm over this relationship, but y'all
Yeah, no, Brady being the voice of reason is also not something I was expecting from the redheaded child.
I did not expect like I think I just expected him to be more like Miranda. So like when the breakup happened and he came in like bawling on her, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, so you're like Steve. Like you have emotion. Like
You have emotions. Yeah.
it was very weird. I was like, okay. And then went right back to being Miranda, like it'd be like, well, if these headphones were working, then I might not be able to hear you. Like
All the sex that Miranda has to listen to in both season 1 and season 2 that she's not participating in, it's just so funny. It reminds me of college years, and Miranda's like 55. You know what
I mean, it was a question I was gonna ask you based on something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, what are we talking? But like, how? Do you know? Oh, secrets. How to deal with secrets. Uh, there was some secret that happened. I don't remember.
A secret that happened.
How do you deal with secrets? I don't know why.
Is that because of like Carrie having to pretend like between there was something going between Carrie and
Oh yeah, yeah,
Steve
yeah.
or
Carrie didn't tell her that like Steve was like not gonna um take off his ring.
oh yeah, from season one. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something about Miranda's I don't want to say stubbornness, but she gets really aggressive, and so in that scene you're talking about, Carrie's like, I mean, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but he's not gonna take your ring off, and you know how you are. Like you're gonna
yeah.
be the one to pull the plug.
You
And
know what? Like, I'm noticing that Carrie is just more upfront with Miranda than she used to be.
yeah, I think after the wedding situation where Miranda
Yeah,
didn't tell her that
yeah,
whole story from the movie, I can see where like we got to get past that. So
yeah,
we got to be honest with each other because when we hold back from each other, nothing. This doesn't work.
yeah, yeah,
And I forgot Miranda also. There was something in season one where Miranda didn't tell Carrie something, and I remember sitting there going like, "Oh, are they gonna have like another movie moment?" And I can't remember what it was at this point, but they do it a couple times where they're like, "I forgot to tell you," or "I didn't want to say anything," and I'm like, "Be careful because you guys like."
yeah. Y'all are.
Y'all gotta be
I don't know
honest
how
with each
y'all
other.
get.
So real quick, the biker. I don't have much on that. The guy that runs her over with his
Oh,
bike.
okay. So I listen. He was cute. I loved him in the younger series.
Younger, yeah. He
I
was
really
also he
appreciate.
was a brief boyfriend slash cousin of Liz Lemon in 30 Rock for one episode. Loved it.
Yeah, he's very cute. It was, a lot of this shit like has a lot of audacity to it. Like this man really was like on the phone and was like, "Are you still there? I just
Yeah.
want to let you know that like I don't have no problems with you or whatever." I'm like, this is so gay. Like y'all are in a relationship for
Yeah.
real, and I still think that it's business partner. But
Sure.
they said no. It's not like that. All
Yeah.
right, whatever. But
Carrie's screaming at him through his a huge apartment and he's in the other
yeah,
room just like, think I'm gonna go. And he's like, are you sure? She's like, gotta leave.
but my thing is, this is like he never got up from the computer to say.
Nope, he's too
He
busy.
was just like, "No, my wife said I got to finish this, so I got to
I
finish it."
gotta get
I was
this
like,
ad done.
"Girl, you kind of are proving the point right
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
Like you got up from this lady to go do what your man said.
Yeah.
I mean, your business partner.
And then also during this time, can we talk about how Miranda, who is a successful partner at one point, lawyer, has all this money, is for some reason her only option when she's in the separation from her husband is to sleep on the couch of her professor? Like Miranda, you've got money. If Carrie's got money, you've got this is insane. This is
But this
insane
is my thing
behavior.
is like, okay, me and you are friends.
Sure.
If I had done if so, I'm gonna put it on me because you wouldn't do this shit. But like, if I blew up my whole life and like all of this shit, and I was sleeping on my ex husband's couch and
Yeah.
shit, you would just give me a money for a hotel if you didn't already have room in your apartment. Like,
Yeah, no. The temporariness of it is fine. Like I can't keep doing this. I need a place to crash for a minute. It's fine. It's the
it was the
months
land.
in the season. This season goes for a whole year. If they go through holidays and seasons, this
Yeah.
bitch is riding her couch like a roommate. And I'm like, Miranda, you're not poor. I don't understand. Like why you
The
can't.
only thing I can think of is like the reason why she's not poor is because she's frugal.
Maybe, but also
Maybe
Steve,
she is
Steve has
frugal.
his bar that he's sold. Like you guys are not in a situation where
Um,
you should be sleeping on your college
he
professors. It just seems weird.
But they also are about to go through a divorce, so maybe she like, I'm trying to save all my coins I can while I got it.
It gives a reason to bring Naya into the story occasionally.
Yeah, I get it.
Right for her, but
I think everything was just off a little bit. Like the fact that you just bought a. Never mind. That's next. That's next. But like the buying of things, versus like how I'm going to live, it's just a little off sometimes. It's just like I can pay for the drinks and I have all this money, but then like there are just certain things that I'm just like, this don't add up. Like it's not.
Yeah, no, and it's the fantasticalness nature of the show. If we try to ask too many questions, it falls apart.
It does.
So you just gotta be like, oh, Miranda's living on our couch.
I'm like, this wallpaper is cheap, but you are buying all these shoes. I don't get it. These ugly balloon shoes. What are you doing? Like, which are real because Marlo Hampton on The Real Housewives had them on, but they're still ugly nonetheless.
Well, Tim, do you want to get into, before we get into Bomb Cyclone, apparently the best episode of the season?
It's only because of one scene.
Okay,
like,
so
it's really because of one scene. It's really because of one scene.
I think it's polarizing because I have been listening to a lot of podcasts, like reading stuff online about people's like feelings, like how much they love and hate the show because of how ridiculous it is. It's the fun of it.
It is.
Which makes me
the whole
love
point
it.
is like, these people don't exist.
These people do not exist. Carrie is not hiking to that conference in the Cyclone in that outfit.
Nobody's hiking into no.
But you know
not
what?
in those fashions.
But our girls are doing it.
Nobody's going through snow, going to CVS, Dwayne Reed, Walgreens for some damn condoms in the snow. No. Bring your ass back home.
When you've got this scene where Carrie is walking one way on her cell phone in the Bomb Cyclone and Charlotte's walking the other way, it was so ridiculous. I half expected them to break into a musical and they would meet on the sidewalk. It's so over the top and dumb and amazing. It's why you love the show.
What are you doing? Not to mention that jacket was not cute. But it was not cute. And that's fine. I don't get fashion like I should. And it's fine.
No, I appreciated that they saw that as an opportunity to go so over the top.
Yes.
Because everything was so over the top. And I was like...
It was. How much snow was everywhere?
It was...
Like, Bomb Cyclone?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Like, I don't know what that is. And why in the hell would you still go to a fucking conference in the middle of that?
A conference that you did not want to do. You got dragged into by the way, your old writing partner that you can't even remember. That's Carrie. So I was reading, a wrap up list as we were kind of going over this. And I loved how this lady's just like, Carrie is a monster, but she's our monster. And it's like, it's like Carrie would forget about a writing partner she had for a decent amount of time and can't even think of her.
Carrie is me. I would absolutely forget about a whole roommate I had.
Oh, it's so good.
And I would.
When LTW... You want to go? You can go. You can go.
Yet another breathless moment. First of all, in the snow, that hat, that bag, the pink bag, and I didn't know what at the time. I didn't know what was in it. I was like, you had another little contraption or whatever. I was like, you're doing like Renaissance woman. Yeah. You are the Renaissance woman. I love you. You're perfect. Not to mention, she was at the house and the man was like, I'll drop you off. And she was like, I don't need a knight in shining armor. I'm good. I'm good. You go into your little thing. Since you want to talk about my car service and your Tahoe.
That's right.
I don't care. She has so many moments where she gets Herbert right together, and I love it.
It's beautiful.
By the way, Herbie can top me any day. But
He's a beautiful man.
he is so cute.
Gorgeous.
It's the cheeks.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like the build. Anyway, the
It's
point
everything.
is, she got into the places she was going to, and she took the hat off, and just I can't explain how majestic it just felt. It was like pins and needles were just going up my body. Just seeing this, like, I don't, is it a scully? Whatever it is called. I don't know what that mask that doesn't have the face thing.
Right.
Like, it was crystallized. I was like, and ready for the runway, honey. I was like, oh my God. And she was looking in the mirror and she opened that little thing and it was a wig. I was like, not a wig!
A wig.
Not a wig!
A wig.
Her wig, which was manicured perfectly. And she said, boop, and looked at that other black lady and said, we're not going to let a little snow stop us, are we? And she said, no, we're not. Like, I was like, ma'am, madam, sis, you're everything. You are the Beyonce of this group. I can't. I need a Lisa Todd Wexley show. I need it.
Yeah.
LTW on the go. That's what I want.
They really do treat her like she's in a different show and she shows up sometimes. She is living her life.
It's so good. It's so good.
What is LTW? What is the actress's name?
Nicole Ari Parker is her
Nicole
name.
Ari Parker. I'll tell you, as somebody, Tim, who doesn't watch a lot of black specific TV
she
programming.
is Black Hollywood. She's like the new, like, there's 3 generations of like Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
And she's like that middle generation.
Gotcha. No, she is familiar to me, the actress. What I think is really interesting in this show, because so much of the show is fashion centric, and when they're showing her in her closet or in her bedroom, in between, like, she's an icon and she looks beautiful, but when there are parts where she takes her wig off. Yeah. And those scenes of like honesty, which Sarah Jessica Parker and those other ladies are not letting. They don't
even go in and let you see them getting highlights.
You're not doing that. But because LTW, because that character lets you see the sides of the family, of her in distress, and then being amazing, like, you get all levels with her.
And also having a husband that fights for her, but also fighting for herself when the husband steps out, well, not steps out of line, but like just doesn't get it or something like that. She's like, actually, with my degrees, I can make this money.
The way LTW and Charlotte are gathering their husbands this season is
gather them like a shin yon bun. Do it.
Gathering. But yeah, even I remember sitting there and watching LTW look to that other lady in the bathroom, and I was like, this is good stuff.
Because this is peak Black.
This is great.
Listen, the Black that happens with Lisa Todd Wexley, I cannot. I'm living. Nicole Ari Parker, you're doing the damn thing with that.
Yeah.
Please, somehow find a way to get a spinoff. I want to see your whole family. I love Billy D. Williams being your dad. Oh my God, daddy! Like, I love it. I love it. It's everything.
That's really good.
Han Solo is your daddy. Yes.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, and then like you have the AKAs with the mother, and then the mother is. Now she gathers.
Aunt Rachel showing up for Family Matters and being his mama.
Well, that's not Aunt Rachel.
Wait, that's not Aunt Rachel?
No, that's not her. That's not her. That's not her.
Hold up.
That's not her.
I thought I looked into this correctly. Hold up. Let me look real quick.
Unless they did that's not her.
Rachel Crawford. That's the aunt's name. Thelma Hopkins.
Let me see.
Thelma Hopkins. Wait. Oh no. Sidetrack. Sorry, people.
No, we want to let you know the truth. That's why we're researching on the phone.
That is not her. That is
Oh, my
not
bitch,
her.
wanna let you know it's not her. All black people don't look alike.
No,
No.
I wanted before you like got into me. I wanted to make sure, and I was like, nope, you're right. That's not her. Go ahead.
I
And
mean, I know my blacks. I do.
wait. So what am I know her from? So now I gotta look
She
her up.
is in things. I just don't know her from, like, she's not a prominent person in the
Yeah.
um but
Well,
she reads Lisa down.
she does.
She says, you look great, Gabby, but you look like you just came from the Lion King. And she's like, and it was a great showing. Like, she was like, yes, I do. I look like that. Thank you so much. She was
Pat.
like, I've been here for 30 minutes and not a hors d'oeuvre was given. Look, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, you better be.
No, her and Billy D. Williams. Her and Billy D. Williams going at it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that 20th anniversary party. That was very, very good.
It was everything. I loved it so much. I live for her reads, but she's doing my girl wrong. Like,
Yeah.
Lisa is doing everything. She is a great mother. She's a great documentary person. She's a great like wife. She's a great like friend. She's well connected. Like she buys art that's worth buying. Like, who
Yeah.
is this woman? I need more of her story. And
Yeah.
arguably, she's getting more of a story than anybody aside from Carrie. Like,
She's getting. I mean, she's getting a story arcs. Like
yeah,
multiple things are happening to her within that family dynamic.
yeah,
It really just being a newer character and getting that much just really shines a light on the fact that Naya, that whole thing,
yeah.
like,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they had the range to do that to her because they gave Lisa so much.
yeah,
I was like, otherwise I'd be like, listen, black women, and then they could have. Black women are not a monolith, and
right,
sometimes people ain't got nothing going on.
yeah, and
Nobody's
sometimes they're
fucking
not on Rachel.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they're not on Rachel. Sometimes they're not like, girl,
Wah wah.
not on Family Matters.
Yep, nope, that was not the one.
So now I got to read your ass.
That's right.
Oh. No, you're fine.
But this is also at the end of the episode. This is also where we find that Carrie, who has been, she kind of sprinkles it throughout the episode that she thought about it, but she decided not to send him the email. She sends the message to Aiden to open up that pathway.
Yeah, and I like, yeah, why not? I don't know. Like, when it comes down to it, you did, yeah, you did him wrong. So you can come through and be like, I apologize or not. Like,
yeah, I think I like the idea that they established that he is also technically single. I think making sure that he is available is important for that to be like.
Oh yeah, especially that next episode. They were like, I cyberstalked him. Which I just recently did with somebody, but we won't talk about that.
Okay. We'll save that for one of our rants, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just gonna say this, people. Don't post everything on Facebook. And definitely get your privacy things together. Because anytime I can go on one website and find all I need to know, like, it's the mystery's gone. Like, it's like, girls. And this is coming from somebody who has a podcast who just airs their laundry out.
Well, yeah. Well,
same time.
Yeah, Carrie's able to figure out that Aiden's single and moved to Virginia. To Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk.
We'll get into that.
Yes.
But Tim, tell me, like, how do you feel about this first half of the season? Like, are you feeling it?
Sans Naya, Sans Naya.
Yeah.
I
Justice
think
for Naya.
yes, justice for Naya, justice for
Not Aunt Rachel.
oh my god, no, not on Rachel is doing very well for herself.
She's doing great.
And justice for Franklin, honestly, but
Woo!
like,
Woo,
let's
Franklin.
be honest. No, but I enjoyed it. I think that it is a staunch difference. It's a similar story, but it feels different than season one.
Yeah.
In a very good way.
Yeah.
I think it also feels almost like it's a similar story, but it feels fresh, and like these characters are characters that we know but different.
Yeah.
And I like that because it kind of gives me hope for me getting older and I'm a single person and really not understanding life because it really hasn't been depicted like
Yeah.
being 40s 50s 60 without a partner doesn't really get a lot of praise.
Yeah.
And so like it's nice to just see that represented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I'm excited to get into the next part of this with you.
I know.
We're going to do a little different thing this week. Tim, I want to ask you, which character is making you live this week?
Oh my God. So I'm gonna say who is making me live is Franklin.
Franklin!
Who is getting me like wet is Herbert.
So,
like, every time he gets checked and he's like, yeah, that I did say that.
I did do that.
Like, I'm like, wow, flooded basements. Every time he's like, I'm here for my wife no matter what. I'm like, wow, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are those people? Where are those chubby cheeks? Where are those? I just want to sit on it. And tell him why he deserves it. But anyway,
that's right.
Who are you living for? Who do you love? Who do you?
I'll tell you what, I'm living for the sex. That
Right.
As much as I loved season one, I do appreciate like them feeling a little bit more alive and like feeling like some happiness or just living life. And I appreciate their bringing
just like including, just like actual chemistry.
Yeah. No, they've seemed to find that for all these characters and all the storylines. Even our beloved Naya, who has been sidelined, in the next part is going to get some love. So
she's going to start writing.
It's a little bit of everywhere. So
yeah,
I'm going to say I'm living for the sex. Tim, where can people find us?
Well, you can find us anywhere you can find Kim Cattrall because you couldn't find her there.
Woo, now I'm on.
You can find her on Netflix. No, you can find her on Netflix in Glamorous.
That's right.
But you can find us on the internet anywhere, especially Chub and Cub.
Which one?
Cubandchub.com. That is cubandchub.com. I'm second because I know Black people.
I just thought Aunt Rachel finally got another job. I'm so sorry.
No, she been had another job. Half and Half was like 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, as you know, I'm a huge Half and Half stan. My bad.
Wow. Tell us you don't follow Black people without telling us you don't follow Black people.
Oh my gosh. Oh well.
This is not a
rivalry.
This is not a witch burning of whites.
Find us at cubandchub.com. You can send us a note at wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Again, that's wearecubandchub@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And we will see you guys next week where we'll talk about the back end of the season 2 of And Just Like That. So thank you so much.
Yes, we get it. You're rich. Bye.
Bye, everybody.